Hello, everybody, and welcome to Cinema Savvy. It's myself, George, and today I'm bringing a review on the upcoming release. Everybody's talking about Jamie, directed by Jonathan Butterell. This is, of course, the adaptation of the stage play, of course, with the same name, currently in London West End for a couple more weeks. And this is a film that I've had a lot of people talking about. A lot of people I know into musicals have been really hyping this one up. This is one I haven't seen on the stage. As I said before, we covered Annette recently, another recent musical that this isn't a genre I see many films of. I'm very far behind in terms of the history and stuff like this, but this is one I have seen spoken about the last few years. When the adaptation was announced, a lot of people were talking about it, discussing who could be playing who. Of course, and the cast started coming together as well. So this is one I followed quite closely along the production, and we're very fortunate to get a screener from Amazon for this one. So I was able to check this out a couple of weeks ago, and this is, of course, going to get released this Friday, the 17th of September on Amazon Prime, which I'll be speaking about a little bit later on. But as I said, the background of this is that this was a stage musical, and initial thoughts heading into the film was that you never know musicals how they're going to go. I mean, as I said, I've not seen the stage play. Would it look like a stage play, or would it look like a completely different musical, budget through the roof, and it comes across as a film? And that's not a criticism of any films that do that. But the one thing I felt with this right from the off, this felt like I could be sitting in a theatre watching this. The way it was framed, the way it was shot and directed, I thought it felt like I'm watching a stage adaptation at home. Obviously, I wasn't watching it in person. I would like to watch it in person, but I believe it's going to be shutting down before, or taking some time out before I get around to it. But that was a very interesting thing for the film to start with. Again, I didn't know much about the concept of it. I knew it was about a drag queen. There's a real life Jamie as well. This was based off, I think, off a documentary before it was a stage play. So it's been something I've seen discussed online for a long time. As I said, there's been a lot of hype of this one, and I was really taken aback, in absolute honesty, watching this for the first time. As I said, I knew nothing about it. This is a coming of age musical. Absolutely no way around it. Obviously, it's based at a secondary school. Some students in year 11, obviously the UK equivalent for the Americans that don't know that, and it covered a lot more than I thought. I thought this is going to be a story of someone that wants to be a drag queen, and it does do that. But this is so much more real than that. This has so many themes going on. Of course, it's got about sort of parents and divorce. It has about sort of homophobic parents as well. It's got the identities. What do people want to do with their lives? You know, if you've been at secondary school, not recently, everyone would have had it, but certain people that were popular at school that would go on to not do anything. And there's so many different things this film covers, and it does it so well and so naturally. And you know, as someone that, yes, I've been out of school 10 years now, it still feels real. It felt like when I was in year 11, I knew people like that. I saw people like that, and I thought about people like that. So it was a really interesting film. And I think that's why I'm shocked at sort of how powerful it was, is because it does feel so real, so modern. And I don't think that's something I can say about a lot of films. You see so many films set at schools when everyone looks about 10 years older. You can tell it's not a school, and you just don't believe it. And it's so far fetched, but this one is as real as it could be. And I think that's what had me grabbed in from the early moments of the film. Obviously, I'm not going to go into specifics of it, but the characters, each important character has a key theme and point in this film. Of course, this is set in Sheffield as well, which was a lovely little thing as well. I'm not from up the north, but it is nice to get films in England that aren't set in London. As much as I love London and stuff like that, you know, to get, you know, Sheffield, the northern accents, all that kind of stuff, be entirely set there, filmed up there, I think that just brings some authenticity that you don't get a lot of the time. And I think that was a really nice thing. And massively coincidentally, I was also thinking about the Full Monty, which I saw for the first time on the same week. Completely coincidental, but that was also set in Sheffield. So it was a really interesting week geographically based for the films. Of course, that was to do with The World Is Not Enough to hint at the Bond stuff. But as I said, I'm best off getting into this by talking about the main character. This is, of course, everybody's talking about Jamie, and Jamie New is the lead. Max Harwood, I believe, in his breakthrough role, is absolutely superb in this. The singing, I thought, was very good. The performance was good. He can cover the emotion with it. I thought it was a solid breakthrough performance from him. I think he's someone that's going to go on to have a very good career with this. And I also want to quickly mention as well, there's the original Jamie from the West End show, John McCrae. He has a cameo in this film. You may have seen him in Cinderella. He played, not Cinderella, sorry, in Cruella. He played Artie in that earlier this year. So he has started to make his breakthrough, and it was nice to get him in this as well. But I thought that he was absolutely superb, Max Howard, in this role. He was believable, and when the time the film ends, I feel like there's been a complete character arc, and it's definitely really interested to find out a little bit more about it. And of course, comes the supporting cast. Richard E. Grant, as amazing as he always is, plays Loco Chanel. This is something I think a lot of people would have known about. He's phenomenal. I don't know if this has been the year of Richard E. Grant. I feel the last few years he's been everywhere because he's an absolute legend. And of course, seeing him in this film was really interesting. And we know he's going to be great in this. He's such a thespian. And I think when he's playing a drag queen, he's so not good at doing it because he's good at doing it, but I feel that he can play any role in anything. Just look at Loki this year. He was almost born to play that character. So that was something I've really enjoyed, was having him in it. And there are some other characters in this that I hadn't heard of. I believe Lauren Patel, who played the character Pretty, this was one of her breakthroughs. I thought she was superb. Her character arc, a lot of it dealt with sort of students and the expectation. Obviously, this goes into, I want to say, about religion as well, the themes of her character, and with certain cultures, certain expectation on some students, which is again something that is very real, something that I remember seeing at school from a lot of people. So what I felt with this is that every character in supporting roles, as I said, has their own story to tell. And I think it manages to cover all of them. Each have their own character arcs, opened, explored, and closed up by the time the film's done, which is very, very rare. And also want to give a quick mention as well to the character of Dean Paxton, played by Samuel Bottomley. He was also great in this. He was very much the school bully, and he has his own character arc that goes with it. So I want to say all the student actors were phenomenal in this. I said the singing was very good with them. It felt very natural. It didn't feel like here's an elevated over the top song, which you can sometimes get in musicals. It felt like the scenario came in and the songs came with it. And I thought it was just so well done, well choreographed as well. Everybody involved with it, and of course some of the adult characters as well. You've got the character of Margaret, and of course Jamie is one played by Sarah Lancashire. She's very funny in the film. She's got also a very important character arc. There'll be times when you're with her, when you're against her, and I think she's one of those where she gets a rounded arc come the end of the film. So do stick out for that. And of course, the character of Ray, played by Shobna Glati, who I believe. I want to take a wild hint. When I was younger, I recognised her face. I think she was on Corrie. I haven't seen it for many, many years, but again, film being filmed up north, you would probably expect someone from Corrie to be in the film, but she was really fun, bit of comic relief. And Ralph Ineson plays Wayne New, Jamie's dad, a homophobic character, one of the biggest, most important characters of the film. And if you don't recognize Ralph Ineson, he is in so many films now. I think he'll always be remembered as Finchy from The Office, but he has just been in absolutely everything. Even if it's cameos, short roles, he is everywhere. And you know, he's good at how he plays his characters, and I thought he does have this. And he also has an interesting character arc, so do stick with that. I've said character arc a hell of a lot. As I said, this film has phenomenal character arcs for a lot of these characters, and I think this was the strongest point of the entire film, was the characters, how they were written, how they are played, and how they've had a lasting effect on me in the weeks that have followed since I've been thinking about this film. And I believe the soundtrack can be streamed right now at the time of this being uploaded. I think you can stream on Spotify, but I would personally wait till the film's out on Friday before doing that. And speaking of the songs, I thought they were fine. Again, music isn't my strongest point. People will know that if you follow the channel by now, so I can't sit there and say what song felt, the best or felt like it was performed the best. Each song had its moments. Each character had their own songs, and it involved the character arcs, which is something I think you need with musicals. So, I'm not the best person to give advice off the songs in a musical, but I thought they were all very well done, and they came in at the right moments as well. And with musicals, as I said, we spoke about Annette recently, a very different musical to many of the films recently, but that's had a very lasting memory with me. I'm not going to compare the two. That's really unfair on either film, in absolute truth. But as I said earlier, this feels like a stage adaptation come to life. And I think that's such a rare thing to have. And by bringing in the talent that had worked on it previously, I think that gives them the experience to be able to do that. And it feels authentic with it. And it was a really, really powerful moment. And what I loved of it as well, with the credits, as many great films do, the credits have the real life Jamie and his mom and all this kind of stuff. So that was really lovely to watch as well. So as I said, I do recommend this review. I've spoken about how good it is. I don't really have any faults with the film. I don't know if I'm going to check this out again at the moment. There's a lot of films coming out and the time, but this is going on Amazon Prime this Friday. Now, whether or not we agree with the Amazon Prime stuff, I think this is a crying shame that this film has been delayed and delayed and delayed and just sold to go online. I think there was an audience for this at cinema. I've seen people on Twitter that own independent cinemas trying to get in contact with Amazon, trying to see if they will show it. I know that Amazon's had a couple of showings at the really big places on the opening day, but this is something where I think it's very unfair to a community. Again, my background with drag queens and all this stuff, it isn't me personally. I don't know that, but I think when you have a film like this, it's teaching us about it. It's exploring the themes and it's exploring things I don't know about or how people have felt with that scenario. And I think that's why I was taken aback by, because I felt like I learned so much watching this for the first time. And it's something that I think is quite important for a lot of people to be. If I was at school, this would be something I'd have loved to have seen. And I think this is something that it explores people. And for those that may be afraid to come out with what they want to do, not just in life, but whether it's stuff with families or personal stuff or with friends, it explores so many of those possibilities for younger people. And I'm not going to jump here and say I could see this being, played at schools for the future. I think it should. Whether it could is something I doubt a government like ours would ever want to consider. But this is a very real, powerful film, and I don't get to it very often. I was taken aback at this, and I think if I was younger, if I had any friends in those situations, that would have been something that could have alerted me to how some people have been and stuff. So I feel like it's going to be very personal for a lot of people. I feel like it could delve into some of the issues they may have faced at school or after school or what they want to do with their lives. But as far as a coming of age film goes, this is one of the best ones I have seen in a long time, a powerful one. And as I keep saying, it's real. And I think that's what brings me more, that I felt like this could be, set in Sheffield, this could be at every school in the country, every secondary school. So if you have been out of school recently, obviously then this may be even more current. So what I want to say that is, do watch this film this Friday. It is a recommendation. I think it is very good. I think it's have a lot of power. It's just a shame that this isn't getting the release it deserves. That, as so many of the streaming services do, it just pops on their website, they market it for a week, and then they're done and dusted with it. So I would like this to try and get as wide a release as possible. And I think this could be at the BAFTAs. I think this is the kind of film the BAFTAs would want to nominate and should nominate. And I think they would, based on how this year went compared to previous years. And it just remains to be seen if they can get the marketing, if they can get the campaign for it, because the potential is there. And as far as British films go, it is one of the more enjoyable ones I've seen recently. And as I said, a very unique, powerful one. It's not often you get these stage adaptations that do work out. And I think this one has to the maximum degree. So that's everything I'm going to say on this film. What I want to do, I want to hear from you guys at home. Sorry, I forgot at the start. If you have seen the stage play, comment on your thoughts on it. If you've already seen the film, let me know your thoughts on that as well. As I said, I think every person's going to have a different reaction to this. I think there are going to be parts of this that are explored within everybody. So comment below your thoughts. If you do like this video, do hit that like button. It does help us as we keep growing and growing and trying to get some more of these films and delve into new genres and whatnot. Of course, hit the subscribe button. We've got new releases coming a lot of the time. Obviously, we've got the Green Knight coming on the 23rd. And the big thing at the moment is the James Bond films, as we have essentially turned into a Bond channel at this point in time. Our Quantum of Solace review is going to be coming tomorrow. That is Tuesday, the 14th of September. So join us for that one. That's myself, Tate, and Chris. That was a very fun video to do. Maybe not the best of films, but it was one definitely worth talking about. And if you are new to the channel, you want to find out where you can figure out what content we do, what our videos are, what our plans are, hit us up on our social medias: Facebook, Cinema Savvy; Twitter at cinema_savvy; letterboxd.com/cinema savvy. And of course, we have a link to TeePublic in that description below. But as I said, we've got a lot of new releases coming out soon, and it is nice to see something different before we do get to Bond. It's nice to get a couple of other newer things, smaller films, British production. So as I said, I do recommend everybody's talking about Jamie, and I can't wait for you guys to see it and let me know what you have to think about it. So once again, thank you all for watching, and I'll be sure to see you on the next one.